Well, guys, we are finally here, and we are going to be reviewing episode 10 of The Bad Batch, the very last episode so far of the season until it does return. Possibly later on this year, like I think it was last year, this occurred as well. Well, we pick up right where we left off, where the crew is trying to find out a way to not only get off the planet, but also figure out exactly where the ship is and also be able to survive. And we see where Rucker is even saying, hey, I'm bored, I'm running out of my rations, and fixing this is not going to be any good. And it's some kind of speeder, and what we see is Omega putting in the try of trying to find Gorky, their little droid that's on their ship. And what happens is they do find him, and apparently he's 100 kilometers on to the east, because the thief that stole the ship is by the name of Benny, which is very funny because watching this entire episode, I knew the voice of this actor who was playing this character, and it was actually Yuri Lowenthal, who plays, of course, Spider-Man in the PS4 version of Marvel Spider-Man, as well as also a few others. Very, very talented actor. I knew I recognized the voice, but overall, I think that was pretty cool seeing him in Star Wars for, I would say, maybe the first time. I could be wrong. But overall, he is the character Benny, along with many other kids, are working in a mine. They're thieves, and they work for someone by the name of Mako, who is pretty much the head miner, but at the same time, he's stealing rations, he's stealing food from these kids while they're working all day, and then he tries to see who's the top earner, and he gives them the most amount of food while the others scavenge for scraps. Then when Omega and the gang come along, they figure out that, hey, there's got to be a way to be able to get the ship back, and they have to get not only the hyperdrive back in, but they also have to get the energy shield down and get everything back together. So Benny has Omega go with him to take the shield down, and Benny starts showing Omega what exactly is like on this planet, as well as Omega showing him you can do more other than just work on this planet as well. And when she's going into the files of this center control, she finds out that the one that is leading them, Mako, that he has been stealing all the profits for himself, and they're just continue working. And Benny doesn't believe this, and he has alerted them to this center. And then Mako does find Omega, and then of course other kids find the rest of the crew, and they start chasing after everybody. Now, when it seems like what's very interesting is the normal thief of, oh, you think you can steal from me, and of course Tech goes that originally you stole from us. And again, they're a good shot, but the only problem is they got Omega. And then right when Benny starts realizing that, hey, Omega was right, that he was not sharing the profits, he shows the rest of the kids the rest of what's been going on, and then they start rebelling against him, and he unfortunately dies, as well as also, of course, Mako dies. And we see where, when I say unfortunately, I must say good thing that Mako finally died by his own hands, by greed and selfishness. And then we see where Omega and the rest of the gang do survive. They be able to get the ship back into normal, and then they finally start working more on it. And Omega even asks Benny, okay, what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life? And he tells her, I don't know, I'm probably just going to stay here. And she says, well, there's a whole galaxy out there. And he even says, he says, yeah, he says, but I'm pretty good at what we're doing here. And they're going to be all equal now. And it really is kind of cool to see that, because at the same time, we get to see a lot of Omega learning about how the Empire is not only a problem, but there's other problems out there. And even Tech tells her there may be ones like that, yes, he says, but there's also ones like us, and that's something as well. So he pretty much tells her there may be there is a lot of bad out there, but it's either the equal amount of good out there as well to kind of balance it out. And I like that. I like how Tech kind of said that to her. But overall, guys, that was the episode. I think it was kind of interesting. I wouldn't say it was probably the best episode. It was a decent episode overall. I think it was okay to a certain degree. I know we're going to be getting more later on at some point. I can't wait to see Mando next week. You guys know I'm going to be doing Mando reviews very soon. I'm going to be doing weekly reviews of Mando, and I'll give you guys my thoughts like I know I'm going to be doing with this. But overall, guys, what do you think of the Bad Batch so far? What do you think of episode 10? I think the Bad Batch overall has kind of gone up and down for me personally. I don't think that this season has been probably the best out of my opinion. It's been entertaining, but it still has not been the best out of my own personal opinion. So I think I just can't wait for probably the second half of the season for the Bad Batch, and I think I'm gonna be able to enjoy that maybe a little bit better. That way, they ain't gotta feel like that they're kind of just taking it inch by inch and like, oh hey, we gotta slow down. We can't do this. We gotta go on these side missions, so to speak, and deal with this and that. And that's been the main problem with the Bad Batch is that's what they're always doing, and it kind of feels like that they're doing that more than almost trying to take the Rebels approach, I guess you'd say, and Rebels made a lot more sense in that way, but the Bad Batch kind of doesn't, if that makes any kind of sense as well. So again, those are just my thoughts. If you guys agree with me, that's fine. If you don't agree with me, that's fine too. But overall, what are your thoughts about this season? What were your overall thoughts about this episode? Please let me know down in the comments down below. If you can leave a like on the video as well, that greatly appreciate. It helps me out as well. So let me know what you guys think about it overall down in the comments, and I'll be seeing you guys on the very next one.